Very interesting read, Fearless Success. Go out and check that one out for sure. Now, in studio, we have none other than Mr. Brian Cohen, President and Chief Talent Agent of the Long Island Speakers Bureau, and he's moderator of the 2019 HIA Trade Show panel discussion, Media Strategies for the C-Suite. And as always, he's here. Are you doing a little Facebook Live?
I'm going to give a whirl at it. Right now, your microphone is blocking my face up here, so I got an issue.
Well, that's, we're trying to get a few different media in at once. We're doing our best. I see something's going on the screen here. Some likes, some hellos.
There we go. Yeah, they're saying they like you.
Very nice. Well, I get that a lot. Thank you. But no, listen, they're listening to me just so they can hear you.
I don't think so.
Come on. No, it's true.
No, but you're on the panel, man. I'm asking questions, you're answering.
I'm
so
the
who's
panel.
the smarter one here?
I'm just, the moderator's the center point. Don't forget that.
I won't forget that.
Yeah. So, all right, so let's talk a little bit. So the HIA Trade Show, the HIA is the Hot Pocket Industrial Association. It's the biggest industrial association here on Long Island, and I think it's one of the biggest. I don't have stats in front of me. You might know it differently. Right. One of the biggest in the country.
Yeah, absolutely is.
As far as businesses, square footage, and all that, which is great to be a part of, And you're moderating the panel. It's going to be, let me get the dates, Thursday, May 30th. It's at the Suffolk Community College Sports and Exhibition Center in Brentwood.
Right.
10:15 to 11:15, our panel's on. Carl Banks from the Giants is on before us, right?
Yes, he is.
So he's our opening act. Is that what you're saying?
We could look at it that way.
I'd like to
if we want to put a positive spin on it, yes. Carl Banks.
So he'll be there.
Yeah, he's going to be doing the executive breakfast that morning.
Yes, which is absolute. You definitely want to see him because he's had a great career after. He's had a great football career, of course, with the Giants, but a great career after in media and in business. So I'd love to hear what Carl Banks is saying for sure. So on our panel, we have Donna Drake.
Yep.
She's executive producer and host of the Donna Drake Show. She's exploding all over the country with amazing success.
Absolutely. We were going through the bios on everybody, a couple of taglines, a couple of words about what everybody's doing.
Right.
We didn't do anybody justice.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a great panel.
Yeah.
Yours truly is on that panel. So we have Donna Drake.
Donna Drake, award-winning host, phenomenal, across the country.
Great show.
Fantastic.
We have Jess Todfeld, who's a media coach, and he's also, with his own firm, Success in Media. He's had some amazing, his background is producing some big-time shows. So from the producing perspective, I mean, he could do, media coaching, understanding and giving the perspective of a producer of a show, which is key, because if you have that message and you want to get on to a show, you got to get through the producer.
That's why, with focusing this more on the C-suite level, it really becomes important. So if you have a company and you have a great story, how do you get media's attention? And that's a challenge.
It's a big challenge.
Yes.
It's a big challenge, especially since there's so much media out there. Everybody's grabbing for it. So then next up, we also have Steve Harper, radio host, longtime radio host here on Long Island. And he's also a special events manager over at JVC Broadcasting.
Yep.
He's got a great radio voice. We're talking about radio voice. Harper's
wait. Yes, we're talking. Well, I'll try again. Yeah. Steve Harper definitely has a great radio voice. Hey, let me just circle back to Jess, by the way. He's a Guinness World Book record holder. So
that's
most amount of interviews in a 24-hour period. That's what I'm saying. It just goes on and on and on here.
The credentials.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Steve's got another little thing.
What's that?
Probably the shortest interviews. Now, Steve's got an amazing career. He's over on JVC right now, Harper Marketing. His interviews last like seconds.
Well, because he was drive time in the morning for so many years.
Yeah.
So I'm long format. I do half hour, sometimes longer interviews. When he would have people on for a segment for a minute.
Yeah, he gets the superstars that call in to go promote something, and he's got one question.
Bang.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. But it's tough. I mean, it's for me, I get to just talk and we do book and then this and we go on, right? That's a whole different format.
Absolutely. It's a big difference. I mean, let's take the three shows here. So Steve Harper, who's doing the very short interviews.
Right.
You're on I don't want to say very long interviews, but you're talking like 30 to long format.
Absolutely.
And then Donna Drake is in the 7-minute category.
And she's like right in between, yeah.
Right. And each one of those presents its own opportunities.
Right.
Yet each one of them presents its own challenges too. So how do you stay interesting when you're doing a long format? How do you get your point across in a 30-second interview?
My 98% of my shows are live, so if I've got a guest who's not cutting the mustard,
Yeah.
Either I'm going to get the hook out and they're gone, but then what else do I do?
Well,
What do I've got to have content ready to go, maybe another guest, what have you. That's a big consideration for me.
correct, but it's also, as a guest, it's a consideration for me. I mean, look, I'm sitting on a chair that's got wheels. I understand what those wheels are for. I can be out of here.
Good. Sam takes you out of here. That's it.
I know.
Good. Sam, get rid of him. No, but and that's what we're going to be talking about at this panel discussion. Again, we're going to be at the panel discussion on Thursday, May 30th, at the Suffolk Community College Sports and Exhibition Center, which is a part of the HIA trade show, the annual trade show.
Correct.
They've got one of the biggest on the island each and every year, for sure. If not the biggest.
I would say it is the biggest on the island.
I don't want to
without a doubt.
shortchange them. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
It's been going for a long time.
31 years.
Yeah, very good show.
31 years. It's really incredible that you got a trade show that's the format's changed a little bit over time.
Sure,
but
it has
basically
to,
the same kind of thing,
Right.
and it's been so successful.
Right. Well, again, Long Island is still, it's not Manhattan, but we're a significant enough marketplace where we need a show like this.
Absolutely.
You know.
There's so much going on the island, and I don't
Oh, yeah.
think most of us see what that is. To tell it with your listeners across the country, you got to really look in your backyard and see what's really truly going on. So around here, you would think that there's not much manufacturing going on. Ha.
It's surprising. It might not be the big manufacturing. I think there's a lot of specialty niche manufacturing going on.
There's a lot of major corporations down here,
Yeah.
and most of them, many of them, are in the Hop Hog Park and a few of the
Yeah.
other parks that are around the island. But
Yeah.
the business is there. Lots of different businesses are on the island and in many different areas.
And so we talk about listen, so if you're one of those business owners that Brian just mentioned, and any business owner, entrepreneur, what do you want to do? You want to get out your name. You want to get out the brand, the message. And we'll be talking about that as part of the panel discussion. What do C-level executives need to know, need to understand to catch the attention of the media, to catch the attention of the producer? So then rounding out the panel, so again, very diverse topics. We have show hosts, and also we have Arthur Germain. He's a CEO and chief, get this, he's a chief brand teller. And his company is the Communication Strategy Group. And his perspective, well, why don't I let you share that?
His perspective on this is that every time that somebody sees you on camera, on stage, in print, in an email, any place, it all affects your brand. So
He's right,
yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Well, doing this show, if you have to wheel me out of here, it doesn't do me.
Which has never happened, by the way. I've had you back many times because you're a fantastic guest.
But I have to stay. I have a lot of pressure. I have to stay a fantastic.
You got to
guest.
bring your A game. If you don't bring the A game, you're out of here.
I got a lot of people counting my ahs and ums.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
a lot of issues.
Look at this. All these people. Glenn Campbell is watching. Wow, Donna Drake. I mean, look at that. It's fantastic.
It's a ton of people.
Yeah.
But everything you do, everything that your customer sees, is part of your brand. So Arthur Germain has been doing this, for many years, really focusing on companies with their brands, and it's shocking how many companies have an inconsistent message that they're delivering, just from an overall standpoint. But we're going to be talking about, so his part of the role over here is if you're doing media, why are you doing media? For what purpose? Is it to share the good news? Is it to discuss some of the bad things? And are you delivering that in a manner that is clean and concise? And that's really, really important.
And that's why it's good to have someone like Arthur on the panel, because he goes at it from how can the C-level executive construct that message? Because it's not an easy thing to do.
No.
And I've had a lot of shows talking about, and I'm a big believer, everybody's got a story. Every business has a story. It's an easy thing to say. It's a very hard thing to articulate. And so I guess, part of what Arthur does, obviously, with his clients at Communication Strategy Group is getting them to discover and articulate what that message is, and then, how are you getting it out in print and online and social and digital and conferences and all that? Because, again, those are all touch points that are part of the brand. So you're going to be the moderator.
Yep.
We're on at 10:15. Now, again, it's part of the HIA trade show. It's May 30th at the Suffolk Community College Sports and Exhibition Center in Brentwood. Online, is there a website where we can direct some people?
Yes, the website would be HIA-LI and .org. You can go over there. We'll just You could Google Hot Dog.
Hot Dog Industrial. Yeah.
It should come up. We got enough of us out there promoting this thing.
Right.
So
Awesome.
you can go there. You can register. If you are just attending as a guest, you register in advance. There's no fee. You show up at the door on the day of the event. It's a $10 fee. So register in advance. Makes sense to do it.
Right. So now you're the moderator. I've had the experience of being on a few other panels with you in the past. And if you're just tuning in, this is the Profit Express. In studio live, we have none other than Brian Cohen. And you already know who he is. But there's a few people who don't, okay? For those of you who don't, President and Chief Talent Agent of Long Island Speakers Bureau, and he's one of the absolute most networked and known and likable. I think that's also part of your title, your brand, likable. Everybody likes Brian Cohen.
You know, that's a good thing.
I mean,
And
you're
they don't
likable, of
know.
course. Not as many people like me. I'm not as nice and likable as you.
Well, I guess it's different
That's
things
true.
that we're doing. You know, so I'm very curious about people to find out what their stories are. So
Yes.
if I meet somebody that I don't know, my first question is, tell me about, what do you do? And if there's not a real good story about why you do what you do,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of lose interest. But I never lose the person,
Right.
which
I
creates
might
its own
lose
issue.
interest. Yeah, you're nicer than I am. I might lose him sooner.
Right, but I mean, if you're just looking at, from the show standpoint, you're looking for a specific guest over here, from a business perspective, same type of a thing. I'm looking for people with interesting stories, so I probably come across much nicer than you do because of that, because I look to see where they could, but I also look to see where they could fit in different places. So there's you and a couple of other folks that have their own radio, TV programs, like part of our panel over here.
Right.
So everybody's looking for guests for different purposes, so people fit in different places.
Well, you know it's true. The story is what brings you in first. They got to have a good story. But here's another thing, and this is something I'll be sharing and talking about, on the panel at the HIA Trade Show on May 30th, is if you're that business owner, okay, you better bring some personality. Not that because part of what you're doing, if you want the media to have you on for an interview, you got to be entertaining.
Yeah, it's a part of it.
Not a comedian, but bring some energy, bring some life, bring some personality.
Right.
Because you know how many times I've talked to publicists, because I get calls all the time from publicists, right, with interviews for authors, and it can be a best-selling book. I've had some really big best-selling books on here, and one thing I learned early on in radio is a best-selling author is not a best-talking guest. there could be a huge. So I've read some books, great books. I get them on the air. It's like
There's a different skill set.
Yeah.
Total different skill set between being a good writer versus being a good communicator.
Oh,
and again,
gosh,
I
yeah.
agree with you. There's a lot of folks out there that have great stories, but if they can't tell that story, verbally tell
Right.
that story,
Right.
well, write or
Yeah.
hire somebody as a spokesperson to
Right.
do that. So there's always a way to get the story out. My focus is much more, though, on you as an individual. I don't want you to have to hire somebody to tell you a story. You should be able to tell you a story.
You have to, and listen, there's plenty of people out there who can help. Get the help. Get involved. Whether it's coaching, even an organization like Toastmasters, which you're certainly intimately familiar with, get that help because. And here's the thing with media: if you're boring, they're not going to invite you back.
Nope.
And plus, if you give some good sound bites in your interview, I tell you right now, I do it. They're going to repurpose that sound bite.
It's so good. So doing a show like this, right?
Right.
So we have the Facebook Live side of it,
Right.
and that's good, and being on air
And we're on
also.
Facebook Live right now, Brian. Cohen,
Right now, I'm
here
going
at
to look.
Profit
I'm going to
Express.
look right now again because I keep blocking
'cause-
myself with
'cause-
this
'cause the
microphone there.
microphone.
I
Yeah,
don't
let's
wanna-
try that.
I don't want to go too far away. I've learned like
There
that
you go.
2-finger distance to
The
the
2-finger
microphone.
distance.
Make that happen. But an article could be written out of this. You're right. A couple of short paragraphs, for social media. Also, if you got the photos, you could put some sentence. If you say something brilliant, hopefully I come up with something brilliant. I know you always do. And that's why.
Look at you kissing up to the host here.
Absolutely. Well, but isn't that a part of it? But you got to be entertaining, but you got to really understand where the guest is coming from with the show. And if you don't do that as a guest, you're not going to be invited back. If I try to
Right.
steer the conversation someplace else, and I did that
Right.
with one guy, with Jay Oliver, actually at the trade show. I'll post that. He wanted to talk about you'll appreciate this, my lack of knowledge of sports.
Oh God.
And I wanted to talk about how important it is to network at a trade show.
What? Oh man!
You'll
Yeah.
have to listen to that
that's,
one.
That's bad. That is bad. No, but here's the thing, and that's why I think this is a great panel at the HI trade show that would be part of, because I want. There's a lot of business owners. I mean, I talk to them. They're terrified at the thought of getting interviewed, presenting, even public speaking. You know, even if it's not an online interview. I don't want that. I don't think that is necessary. You've got the great story. You're proud. You know, own your message. Learn how to tell your message. That's what we're going to be talking about at the trade show, at the panel. Because when those opportunities come, and you don't know when you're going to, get a call from a reporter. You get a call from a producer or a host. Hey, can you come on? Because if you think about it, if you're in an industry, if you're in accounting, if you're in finance, whatever, law, and something timely comes up and they reach out to you because you're known for an expertise, you got to be ready.
Right.
And I mean like ready on the spot, because if they're going to quote you, you got to have something.
Going back to, I know a lot of people on the networking side of thing. I know if something comes up that's newsworthy, and I'll reach out to somebody that's in that industry that could talk intelligently about it, and then I'm reaching out to you. So a few things have to happen. One, that person needs to be able to communicate and communicate clearly as to what it is, but they do have to be somewhat entertaining, not going up here telling jokes.
No,
nothing like that, but
bring
interesting.
energy, excitement about your message.
Correct.
I'm big on that.
Right.
I'm so big on that.
But you have to be ready to do it. And part of the panel, I mean, we got media coaches too. Jess Hartfield is a media coach by trade.
Absolutely.
I know Donna Drake is more than happy to to share.
So it's Donna Drake, the Donna Drake Show. Jess Hartfield is a media coach, Guinness Book of World Records holder. And he has his own firm, Success in Media. Steve Harper, another radio host and special events manager, JVC Broadcasting, and then Arthur Germain, CEO and Chief Brand Teller. I love the title. Over at Communication Strategy Group. I just love to see people. It's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of great energy, a lot of great diverse backgrounds to share and talk about. And again, sitting right here in studio with me on Facebook Live, we have Brian Cohen, President and Chief Talent Agent over at the Long Island Speakers Bureau, where you're doing a great job of putting together, that expertise of speakers, trainers, presenters with the right, corporate audiences, non-for-profit audiences. You're doing great work over there.
It's a lot of fun to do. I'm very excited about this. We got 3 different radio, TV show formats.
Yeah.
One's a coach, a media coach. The other one's a brand, so we can make sure the whole picture.
You got to get out there. You're that C-suite person. This is a must-have. Again, it sounds a little self-serving because I'm on the panel, but who cares? It is what it is.
I know. I could say nice things about you,
sure,
but
okay.
If we're running out of time, I might not be able to. Uh-oh.
Oh, we just got the sign from Sam.
I have time to say something nice about him? Tim is going to be unbelievable. Every time he does these panel discussions, he's right on mark.
I try.
Actually, a lot of times we do these panel discussions, you come up with your own questions, which is really great. I appreciate that a lot.
Well, it's hard to remove the host from it,
but it's good. But yeah, there'll be 3 formats, coaches, brands, the whole thing. It's all terrific. We got the big auditorium up front, which is really, truly fantastic. I spoke there once before.
Oh, it's a great format. It's a great format. Carl Banks is going to be there.
Yep.
A former New York Giants star. He's the executive breakfast, right?
He's the executive breakfast. There's a couple of other panel discussions going on, talking about the economy on Long Island from a lot of folks that are running some major companies, too. So just the panel discussions and seminars is great.
May 30th. Awesome.
Yep.
Brian, thanks so much for coming on board. Karen listening tonight? You got to say hello to Karen.
Hello, Karen.
Hello, Karen. How are you? Karen, this is Tim Healy, host of the Profit Express.
And this is Brian Cohen. Thanking Tim Healy for allowing me on. I'm out of here.
Until next week, this is the Profit Express. All right.
Oh, we laugh a bit.